So today I'm here with visual artist, choreographer and fashionista Christian Asare, but you'll soon find out that really he doesn't like to be categorised. I've been looking into a little bit about you on the internet. We've got dance, we've got visual arts, we've got choreography, and we've got fashion. So, what came first, and how did your current career develop? Are you still doing all of those things, or a selection?
How did those things develop? I'm a multidisciplinary artist. I started in dance training, but I've always viewed arts as kind of like the same language, but through different lenses, in that visual art is just a translation of dance, or writing is just a translation of visual art, and that these are almost different facets of the same diamond. So I've never made an effort to separate my art forms when I approach them, and I've always allowed my learning in one discipline to influence my expression in the others. So I feel like my expression in all these art forms has grown over time because I've allowed myself and respected each development for what it is within the context of its discipline. So the short answer is I started as a dancer because that was the language that was easiest for me to attain. It was the language that was most natural to me. And through it, I was able to grow my output as an artist across disciplines. So yeah, I do still do dance. I still choreograph, I still write, I still paint, and I do them simultaneously. So sometimes I might create something that inspires something that I might write that might then inspire choreography, and then I might tie these in the same space so that an audience has a more uniform understanding of the original concept. Yeah.
And you were telling me earlier that you come from a long history of Ghanaian descent.
Yes.
So can you tell me a little bit about how you feel that heritage has influenced your work?
I'm British Ghanaian, i.e. I'm born British, but I'm of Ghanaian heritage and origin. And having grown up in England, well, I was actually educated between 3 continents. I was educated in America, I was educated in Africa, and in England. And having the experience of these varied and actually quite different social dynamics, and also being a black man, I think there's a lot that you learn about yourself and about how your identity makes waves in the world that you're in. So in that way, I think anything that I create in and of itself will be an expression of my identity. So I can't really separate them, if that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. I don't really know how. I feel like anything that I create will be Ghanaian and will be British, because that's who I am, so that's what I put into my work. Yeah.
So would you say there are any common themes that sort of just naturally flow into your work that you've associated with being Ghanaian? Or would you say that those themes are human themes?
I would say that thematically, I think I explore a lot of different things. Because I don't stay focused on solely portraiture, I like to explore abstraction, I like to explore expressionism, and I like to see the intersection between atypical Western art and African art, and the intersection of these in a neo-contextual world. I tend to go for the things that I enjoy. So at the moment I'm really exploring pointilism because I like being able to explore the difference between dust and water and light, and how you can achieve that with the simplest of strokes. So technically I'm exploring something that you would consider relatively Western because pointilism was derived from, I guess, the French. But then if you look further back, pointilism existed before the French in sub-Saharan Africa. So that in and of itself would be channeling Africanness into what I'm doing. Aside from all of that, I'm also expressing or experimenting with the idea of divisionism, which is where you really just break colors down into the basic palettes and you reconstitute them on the page. And the reason I'm doing this is because I wanted to break down the color brown as actually being constituted of reds and greens and yellows and blues. And that this variation is a reflection of my heritage in that my skin color is not just one thing, it's many things. So my work is very much a reflection of that. And yes, I don't know how quite to explain it. I think they become quite synonymous in that respect. But as far as themes, I like things that flow. I like movement. I like grandeur. I like excellence. I like good energy. I like things that speak to you. And I feel like I'd like to create work that is of a quality or of a standard that always speaks to its audience. So I try to have that running theme, I guess, throughout my work.
You've exhibited in quite a few countries.
Yeah.
Have you ever exhibited in a dance venue?
Not yet, but I would love the opportunity. I was blessed to be in the curtain raiser for Matthew Bourne's Swan Lake when I was quite young. I was, I think, 19 or 20. And that was a wonderful experience because we got to be on the Sadler's Wells stage and really see the round. But I would love to be able to experiment with putting various mediums and disciplines within the same spaces so that audiences can really experience an artist's perspective from more than one medium. Because I would love to be able to see not just the dancer, not just the choreographer, but what they wrote, how they choreographed. Do you know what I mean? The imagery that inspired that movement, because it gives you a fuller understanding of what you're seeing. So no, I haven't exhibited in a dance space, but I would love to.
And you can tell me, have you ever danced while painting?
Yes, I do that often. Often, I usually just put on music, and it's very relative to what I'm listening to.
Certainly looking at your paintings, there's a lot of movement within them, and then you have this human element that comes in to, I think, all of them or most of them.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah. So when you were commissioned to work for Amani Go Digital, what was your starting point in terms of deciding what to do?
Where I am now, I think more often than not, when you're looking for something to create, you're looking for a stimulus, or you're looking for something specific, you're looking for a subject matter. But I've found more often than not the easiest way to get that is to simply observe where you are. Observe the energy around you, observe the things that you're going through, and take from that as far as what is most emotionally pressing to me right now. And with all the things that are happening in the world, I thought of the people in my life and the people in my family. And I thought of the young women in my family, especially, because they mean so much to me. And I wanted to paint this as a way to not necessarily empower them, but I guess embolden them into the fullness of their identity. Because I think in this time more than any, it really knocks people of color confidence in themselves. Not because there's anything to be worried of or for, but because the difficulties in the world can inflict on you if you're not someone who's stronger of spirit. And I kind of wanted to imbue that within them through my work.
So can you tell us, have you got a title for this painting yet?
No. I tend to not name things till a lot later on, because I feel like when you name something, you coin it too quickly.
So tell us about the subject of this painting.
It's a cousin, one of my cousins. I have lots of cousins. They're all girls, and they're absolutely beautiful, incredibly intelligent young women. And I find them quite inspirational in very little ways and also in very big ways. I like the way they think. And I like the way they action themselves into the world. I like there's a lot about them that I find very promising, considering where the world is right now. So yeah, the subject of this is one of my youngest cousins. Her name's Jewa, and she's brilliant. She just had her prom, and she took those photos, and she was saying that she really wanted to get the style right, and I was like, the style's amazing. And as you can see, she's just absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I'm just gushing about my cousin.
What does her name mean? Because you have particular naming traditions in Ghana, don't you?
Yes, we do, but I would be remiss to get it wrong.
Okay.
I should probably call and find out for sure, but I'm sure it means Queen Mother or something along those lines. But it's a shortened version of a much longer name. But no, it's quite beautiful. Yeah.
Well, you've spoken about how your family have influenced you as you've been growing up and in your career. Are there any other artists who've been big influences on you?
Yes. I have really varied tastes, some might call eclectic. But I enjoy things that are entirely different. There's one artist that I really love on Instagram called Eva Prozin Kujak, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and she does these really like crazy wild things. And then there's also Professor Ablade Glover, absolutely brilliant person, incredibly innovative Ghanaian artist. I really like Sylvie Guillaume's work. She was a principal dancer for I think it was the French ballet, but she's amazing. I really like Akram Khan. I like Martha Graham very much. So yes, Alvin Ailey. So I take a lot of inspiration from like a lot of greats in my mind anyway. Visual art, I don't know. I like what I like. I'm not too strongly influenced by what's current or what's popular. I just kind of do what I like and experiment according to what I would like to do. So yeah, there are very few visual artists I can pinpoint and say, yes, that's someone
So would you say you generally live in the moment?
To a degree.
Do you have any future dreams? Or do you tend to, oh, that's interesting and that's interesting? And
Oh, I definitely have prospects, yes. There's a lot of things I need to get off the ground and set up. As far as my personal practice, I'm currently working on a body of work that I've been spending about a decade on. And it's based on my autobiographical history as a creative. And the ideology of it is to put multiple disciplines from a specific artist in the same space and use it to tell a story. And it's called The Things I've Lost. So that's something I'm working on at the minute that I really want to get off the ground, and I feel like it will be a culmination of a lot of different work, because I've been painting for easily about 10 to 12 years now. I've been dancing for easily about 12 to 15 years. And I've really amassed a significant amount of experience and time and energy in what I want to do. So I feel like I've come to that point where I'm like, let's do it, you know? So yeah, aside from that, there's also fashion. So I've always customized my own clothing because shopping as a man's difficult. You've got blue, black, gray, and white. Do you know what I mean? And finding any color, finding any variation, finding any interest in fashion without having to spend, you know, a stupid amount of money, kind of inspired me to start painting my own clothing. Because I also like the idea of functional art. I don't like the idea that art is simply a commodity or, do you know what I mean, a luxury. It should be something that you can wear as much as love. So that's another branch that I need to explore in its entirety, but that needs to come in time, as most things do. And yeah, I've just spent some time garnering the relative business sense around these things so that when I do them with purpose, as opposed to just because I want to, you know?
do you have any current exhibitions out there?
Yes, I'm currently exhibiting with Home Manchester with my Black Gold Arts Homemakers Commission. And that's running from October 1st to November 15th at Home Manchester. Yeah.
And how can people engage with you online?
Instagram is the easiest way forward. I'm not super tech savvy, but I rock the Instagram. So if you follow me on Instagram or just message me directly, that's probably the easiest way to get in touch.
And it's just under your own name?
Yes, it's an abbreviation of my name. So Christian, X. Easiest way to remember it is like Christmas, Xmas, so Xtian. So Xtian Asare at.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much for talking to us.
Thanks for having me.
And I'm going to go over to home and have a look at your exhibition.
I hope so. Thank you so much.